Tag is directed by, or I'll start over. Jeff Tomzik. Tag is directed by Jeff Tomzik and stars quite an ensemble cast. You got Jeremy Renner, John Hamm, Ed Helms, Hannibal Buress, or Buress, Isla Fisher, and so on. And this is based on, inspired by a true story that happened in the Wall Street Journal that was published.
Written by the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, that was published in the Wall Street Journal about a team of friends that have been playing the game of tag for the last 30 years. And the movie basically is about a group of friends that are led by Ed Helms, Hannibal Buress, John Hamm, and Jake Johnson, and they're basically wanting to form a game of tag to go after Jeremy Renner's character, who's never been tagged before. Yep. And basically, they go out of their way to try to get to him as their target. Yep. Now, here's a little backstory. Now, this movie was...
Well, they're destined to get him because they said it's his last year.
Yeah, it's his last year before he retires.
Yeah, retires.
And he's also getting married, too, to his fiancée, played by Leslie Bibb. And now, here's some backstory. Now, upon seeing the trailer for this movie, I actually thought this was kind of a weird premise to make out of a movie.
I'm going to be honest with you. When I saw the trailers, it kind of made me think how Hollywood has ran out of ideas. And I'm going to be honest, this trailer, not really the trailer itself, but when I heard about the name, I said, this is going to be fucking trash. It has to be.
Yeah, because a premise where people play tag, I felt like could not work as a fucking movie.
Yeah.
But
I just felt like they were just reaching for a story.
My expectations for this were extremely low
for me too.
And basically, now what got me interested was at least the cast involved, because you got quite a lot of big actors in this.
Yeah, the cast is what kind of drew me in, and
I gotta admit,
the movie did get heavily promoted.
Yeah,
a lot.
It did.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll give it a shot.
And upon seeing it, I can honestly say that for a comedy like this, this actually was quite a surprise.
I will say that I am thoroughly surprised.
Yeah.
This movie was a pretty fun movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. Not only was it very funny, but it had a lot of heart to it.
Yeah, a lot of heart. The writing was really strong in this film.
Yeah, because basically you have a group of friends that the way that they all try to keep up with each other over the years is by playing a game of tag. Because the whole point of it is that, like they say that quote, you continue to play unless you're getting old, basically, or you grow old.
Yeah.
Or if you grow old, you stop playing and stuff like that. And basically, these friends want to get together because they felt like playing a game of tag really keeps them going on a connection.
Because they've all went and lived their lives, and they want to find a way to connect again.
Yeah, and I gotta say, to get my pros out of the way, the whole cast in this was phenomenal.
Yeah, all the performances was great.
Yeah, even
everybody blended so well. Yeah. And I want to bring up something, because I've mentioned this before. I've never really been much of an Ed Helms fan. I kind of find him to be kind of like the con of almost everything I see in, including Hangover. I love that movie, but he was one of my things I don't care for. But I actually really liked him in this film.
Yeah, I thought that because he was a lot more toned down in this one, he was able to bring his comedy a lot more blended well with the rest of the cast. Yeah. And I thought that him kind of playing, because basically he's kind of like the leader of the group if you look at it, because the movie kind of promotes the movie like Jeremy Renner's kind of like the main guy. He's not hardly in it. Most of the movie is focused on the other guys, and Ed Helms is kind of the leader of the pack.
And they're going over and beyond and make it determined that they're going to tag him for the first time.
Yeah, and
I want to tell you this shit when they fight Jeremy Renner, where he does all those moves, juking him, and Jeremy Renner takes it to another level where he actually sets booby traps. And I'm talking about shit that would actually put you in the fucking hospital.
Yeah, definitely.
He takes this shit to another level. I was like, damn. And I'll tell you right now, it was pretty cool move, and the slow motion hit scenes and all that stuff was pretty funny.
That, and also one of my other favorite parts is basically every time that we would see Jeremy Renner about to get tagged and stuff, you would hear his inner thoughts where he's thinking to himself he's coming across to the left. He tries to get me with a sense of weed, but he doesn't realize that I'm already on top of it or something.
Yeah, and you hear him thinking, and I thought it was fucking hilarious.
And it was even funny when you hear the other characters thinking out loud. It's like, I'm gonna be the first one that tags him.
Let me say this, because I've been wanting to say this the most out of this entire review, thinking about it all day. Hannibal Buress, I can't say his last name, but I find this dude to be highly underrated. You don't see him much. They use him to a certain tone degree, and this dude seems to always be fucking hilarious.
He is. Almost a lot of movies I've seen.
I love his fucking lines in this movie.
Yeah, he was one of the standouts for me because every time that he was like showing, like he had most of the laughs for me. Like because most of the humor that he says is like a lot of like, you know, comedy. Like, oh, for example, is like, time is inevitable, or is like, how you get, or some like, he's like, where Ed Helms is like giving him signals and stuff, and he's like, oh, I thought you were talking about time zones.
My favorite part's the beginning where like he's in therapy because he has trust issues, and he's imagining like all like these guys fucking his wife.
Yeah, I thought that shit was funny.
And then he's talking about what if I'm gone and all her holes get plugged or some shit like that. It's just those shit that he says, man. It was just he's just a funny guy. But everybody blends so well, and that's, like we've already mentioned that. But which threw me out of fucking surprise here, there's actually, I'm not going to spoil this, but there's actually an emotional tone to the film.
Yeah, the movie does kind of grab you by the heart toward the end, because there's something that, we won't spoil what happens, but there is something that happens where you're just like, oh, that was so, like, you know, touching. You know, it really grabs you.
It's touching, but like that certain emotional thing happens right before the touching scene.
Yeah, it was.
I just was like, damn, you just like stuck a dagger in my heart.
Yeah, I mean that was
having funny, but then it brings emotion to it. It blends very well.
Yeah, I was. That was actually one of the few things that surprised me, because I thought the movie was just going to be all around like, you know, dumb, like, you know,
raunchy,
type of comedy like that. But this movie does have a lot more merit to it than what you think of it.
Yeah.
And also I got to get into some of the other things too, like the way that the movie's kind of going with its direction, like how they're all planning their attacks and stuff. Like you were kind of saying with Jerry Renner, it's almost like Jerry Renner's already is aware of them trying to go after him and stuff. We won't spoil anything, but he has like all these different like plans that he comes up with are on top of it. Like there's even people that he even like kind of recruits or something to be in on it.
Yeah, like in on the joke and stuff. So they have a hard time believing each other. So that's funny. But other than that, I did like the ending credits where they actually show the real story, the real guys that played, and that was hilarious. It's actually a bunch of old guys.
Yeah,
and and the real life people are a bunch of old people, and they're pretty funny. But other than that, if I had any cons, there is that emotional thing that I do that happens in the film that we don't get no closure to that. What happened?
Yeah, that was kind of questionable. I was like, they could have really touched base on that more. Yeah, because it really didn't go anywhere afterwards.
Yeah.
But also, if I had like really any minor cons, I'd say probably like some jokes don't really hit too much, and some of them can be like kind of rinse and repeat at times on some parts. But for the most part,
one girl kind of seemed pointless at times.
Yeah, there was a girl that was introduced in this film that I felt like didn't really serve much of a purpose.
The one that they were trying to fuck with in the school. We have her, and then they had that Wall Street. I can understand why they have her, because that's what really happened. Other than that, she was like...
I was talking about
I know, the girlfriend. I said there was two girls in this. There's that one that's following them that I almost said that I had a problem with her, but then again, she has to be in there, because that really happened where these Wall Street people followed them. Yeah. But the one where them two are fighting over that one girl, she didn't really make serve any purpose whatsoever in this film, other than she was used as a distraction. Yeah, and she just happened to stay for the rest of the movie. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you don't know him here or anything. It's just you have no point.
Yeah. So that's really like the most gist of it, because this really is kind of like a more straightforward type of movie. But I do highly recommend it. I really do think that if you like a great comedy that also grabs you by the heart as well, I think you'd probably really enjoy this. So with that, I'm gonna probably give it a high compelling grade.
Yeah, I'm giving this a really high compelling grade on the Film Freaks meter.
Yeah, I don't go to watch comedies a lot in the theater, but this is one of those exceptions where I'm glad I did, because it's very rare that you get comedies that actually, you know, surprise you in this. So with that, I really enjoyed it. So for those of you who have also seen Tag, what were your thoughts on it? Comment below, and if you like what you see here, you can feel free to like and subscribe to our channel, and check out more of our reviews here, and also on our website at filmfreaks.com, and we'll be seeing you in our next review. We'll see you later.
Later.